So North London is red, but come on, we knew that anyway, didn't we? In this video, we're going to be looking back on yesterday's magnificent victory in the North London derby. Just before we get started, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. We do a lot of live shows with some special guests. There's no agendas. It's just sensible Arsenal discussion. We do live watch-alongs. We cover the Arsenal women as well. So loads on the channel. So please consider subscribing. It is free of charge. It helps the channel reach a larger audience. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like as well. Please share the content around. If you've got any comments at all about yesterday's magnificent performance, the atmosphere in the stadium, or anything at all to do with Arsenal, please drop them in the box below, as we love to hear from you guys as well. Hello, my name is Richie. Welcome back to my channel over and over again at the Arsenal podcast. This is a video we're delighted to be bringing you, of course, looking back on yesterday's brilliant 3-1 victory in the North London derby here at the Emirates. Once again, putting Tottenham in their place where they deserve to be, which is, of course, below us in the Premier League table. So lots and lots to get through. We're going to look through the team lineups. We're going to analyse the performance. We're going to really enjoy selecting a man of the matches. There's a load of people that could possibly be in the running for that particular award this week. So, yeah, loads coming up. So let's get started. So with a fully fit squad then, this was a great opportunity for us to really see exactly what Arteta considers to be his strongest starting 11. And in fact, there was only one change from the side that had won 1-0 at Burnley last weekend in the Premier League. A little bit of a controversial choice it was as well, as Granit Xhaka came straight back into the side after his 3-game suspension. That was in place of Nicolas Pepe. It wasn't, of course, a like-for-like swap. We did change the shape of the midfield slightly. We had two pivots this time, and Ødegaard was able to play a little bit further forward. So this was how we lined up then. It was Aaron Ramsdale in goal. The back four, of course, the same as last week. Tomiyasu at right back, White and Gabriel, the two centre-backs, and Tierney at left back. We then had the two midfield pivots with Xhaka and Partey. So Ødegaard was in the number 10 position. Smith Rowe moved over to the left-hand side. Saka switched over to the right with Aubameyang through the centre. So that has to be considered, Mikel Arteta's, what he considers anyway, to be his strongest 11. And you can't really have too many complaints really with that side. It does seem to be the best team that we've got in terms of balance as well. And I do think this shape probably suits the players that we've got. A few people were maybe calling for Lacazette to play. He was going for a record, actually, the first player ever to score in 4 consecutive North London derbies at Arsenal. But he was left on the bench. And of course, Nicolas Pepe as well was left out of the starting lineup. But it was a good Arsenal side. So as for Tottenham, they just made 2 changes to the side that had lost 3-0 against Chelsea last weekend. So in goal, it was Lloris, the captain. Their back four, it was Tanganga at right back. The 2 centre-backs were Sanchez and Dyer. And it was Reguilón at left back. In midfield, then they had Ndombele, Dele Alli and Højbjerg, and the front three was Lucas Moura, Son and Harry Kane. So that was how the teams lined up for this North London derby. Well, I mean, what can you say about the performance? That opening 45 minutes in particular was probably the best we've ever played under Mikel Arteta. In fact, it was probably the most enjoyable 45 minutes of football I can remember seeing from an Arsenal team for a very long time, possibly since the days of Arsene Wenger. Really, really good football that we played. The transition from defence to attack was a lot quicker. The front four were allowed a lot more freedom. So you had Ødegaard, Smith Rowe, Saka and Aubameyang, because they had the 2 in behind them, Partey and Xhaka, both of whom played really well. In fact, Xhaka, who many people didn't want to see start this game, actually started the move for all 3 goals. He had a really big influence on this game, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to finish it due to a rather nasty looking knee injury. Let's hope it's not too serious, because he showed exactly how important he is to this team. But yeah, that first half was just unbelievable, wasn't it? The football that we played. Got the early goal, of course, which helped, didn't it? A great goal it was as well. As I say, it was Xhaka that was involved in the move, played the ball to Ødegaard. He played it out to the right-hand side to Saka. He showed exactly why he's a much better option there than Nicolas Pepe. Although they're both left-footed, Saka is prepared to go past the fullback on the outside, which is what he did. Pulled the ball back with his right foot, and arriving late into the box was Smith Rowe to finish first time. And that's what we've been lacking, haven't we? A midfield player to make those third man runs into the box, get on the end of things and finish. And that's exactly what Smith Rowe did. And that goal gave us a lot of confidence as well. We went on to dominate that first half. We could have scored 4 or 5 goals if we're totally honest. It was probably one of the most one-sided North London derbies I can remember. Really, really good to see. The second goal was another swift counter-attack. In fact, it almost started with a mistake at the back. Ramsdale's ball out to Xhaka. Wasn't a great ball at all. It looked as though Højbjerg was going to just nick the ball off Xhaka, but he did really well, showed great strength and played the ball out wide to Kieran Tierney. It came into Aubameyang, a lovely flick to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe got clear down that left-hand side, showed good pace, showed good vision as well, cut the ball back, and there was Aubameyang, again, first time finishing at the far corner of the net. Another fantastic counter-attacking goal, 2-0, and even at that stage you're thinking it's game over because Tottenham were offering next to nothing. It got even better though, didn't it, before half-time with a third goal. Again, another counter-attacking goal. Tottenham lost the ball deep inside the Arsenal half. Xhaka picked it up, gave it to Martin Ødegaard. He played it into Smith Rowe. A lovely ball out to the right to Saka. Saka had a lot to do. He tried to cut inside and have a shot of his left foot, maybe showing that he can do what Nicolas Pepe can do as well. Harry Kane got back with a tackle, but the ball fell kindly to Saka. And without a second thought, he just hit a first-time shot of his right foot across Lloris into the far corner of the net. Saka and Smith Rowe, as the song goes, both scored in the North London derby in front of the clock end. Fantastic performance it was in that first half. In the second half, of course, when you're 3-0 up, you're always going to maybe be a little bit more cautious, and that's what we were. And it was maybe a bit more of a throwback to a lot of our earlier performances in the season where we sat too deep. We allowed Tottenham to come onto us, and we didn't really offer an awful lot going forward. But when you're 3-0 up in the derby, you don't mind that happening there. When it's 0-0 or when you're losing, that's when you want to see more from the team. But it was maybe pretty good game management overall. Yes, Tottenham had a few chances. Of course they did. They do have some quality players, and it did show in the end. Aaron Ramsdale had to make a couple of good saves, once again showing that he deserves to be the number one goalkeeper. Of course, the highlight was that great late save from Lucas Moyer's deflected shot, which was going to go into the top corner, and he just got a fingertip to it, pushed it onto the crossbar. That was a fantastic save. Unfortunately, his run of clean sheets did come to an end with about 12 minutes to go. Tomiyasu's pass was cut out. He was a little bit out of position. The cross came in from Regley on the Tottenham left, and Son arrived to sweep the ball home. Ramsdale got a hand to it, but he couldn't quite keep it out. So his run of clean sheets is over. Maybe that's the best way for it to happen in a consolation goal, really, for Tottenham. It could have been a little bit more of a nervy finish had Tottenham got a second goal in those last few minutes. But I say Ramsdale made that great save, and we easily held on for the victory, and fully deserved victory it was as well. Yes, we'd all like to have seen us go out in the second half and get 3 or 4 more goals and really put Tottenham to bed, but unfortunately that isn't Mikel Arteta's way, is it? But ultimately we managed the game pretty well in the second half. It was good to see the substitutions come on and all make an impact. Nuno Tavares again making a bit of a reputation for himself, isn't he, when he comes on? He's very popular with the fans. He did get forward well, and he does look as though he's going to be an exciting player. And in the end, of course, all 6 of our new signings actually finished this game, which was good to see. It's a new Arsenal team, a young Arsenal team. Yes, we're not going to win every game in this manner, and we're not going to win every game as we have done the previous 2 with a narrow 1-0 victories either. But it is an exciting future maybe ahead now. I've been critical of Mikel Arteta, I think rightly so, but it seems as though now he's got his team, he's got the players that he wants, and you can see the process, if you like. You can see what's happening, you can see what he's doing and how this team could well progress. Yes, we need to understand that we've beaten Norwich and Burnley, are 2 of the weak teams in the league, and we've beaten a very, very poor Tottenham team yesterday as well. But you can only beat what's in front of you. We've got more harder tests to come, and it's going to be interesting to see how we get on against the better teams later on in the season. But for now, we've got to be delighted with how we've turned things around, and the future suddenly looks a lot brighter, doesn't it? Well, the man of the match then, it's a good one this week because pretty much all 11 that started this game would be in with a shout. Aaron Ramsdale didn't have a lot to do, but what he did do, he did really, really well, didn't he? He made some really good saves. I said that one from Lucas Moyer late in this game. Not only was it an important save, because if they got it back to 3-2 at that point, it could have been a nervy finish. It was just a fantastic save in there, wasn't it? So he had a great game. The back 4, again, not really put under a massive amount of pressure. A lot of different challenge this week to the Burnley game last week, but they all did really well. Tomiyasu looks a great player at right back, doesn't he? Strong, good in the air. He kept Son quiet for most of the game. He had another very, very good game from Tomiyasu. The 2 centre-backs, Ben White was a lot better this week. Maybe a game that suited him a little bit more. He could play his football and he wasn't really bullied around like he had been against Burnley and Brentford earlier in the season. Gabriel, again, really outstanding, wasn't he? He's back to his best, the sort of form he showed at the start of last season. This is a Gabriel that we need, a real leader at the back for such a young man. Fantastic performance from him again. And Kieran Tierney looks a lot more back to his normal self, didn't he, at left back? Defended really well. Still maybe not able to get forward as much as he would have liked. Didn't have that much influence further up the pitch, but because of the way that the team's set up now, maybe with a 4 at the front, I think the defenders aren't going to maybe get that much freedom to go for. But a decent game from Kieran Tierney. I thought the two in midfield, the two pivots were brilliant yesterday. Thomas Partey, great game. He showed exactly what we've been missing, actually. And his return to fitness is going to be really important for how the season goes. And I do want to give real special praise to Granit Xhaka. I say he had a hand in all 3 goals, started the move for all 3 of them. I thought he had a really, really good game. He was winning the battles. He was slowing down the play. He was stopping Tottenham getting counter-attacks. I thought he was brilliant. And he was certainly in with a shout for man of the match in this game. But there was better players, unfortunately, for him, slightly further up the pitch. Start with Martin Odegaard. Again, absolutely brilliant. I think he's more suited to being further up the pitch in that number 10 position. He dictated the play and he was helping us get the ball forward quickly. His movement was really good as well. Aubameyang, got to give him credit as well. He's had a lot of criticism over the last year or so, not scoring enough goals, but he played really well yesterday, worked hard, took his goal really well, and he actually showed leadership qualities as well, which you want to see from the captain. So a really good performance from him. That, of course, leaves the 2 Hale End boys, doesn't it? They both scored, both got an assist. I think it's very difficult to choose between them, isn't it? Smith Rowe, what a great first goal it was. He absolutely dictated that play, didn't he? He was causing Tottenham no end of problems. I think that position on the left-hand side when he can cut in as well and drift in really does suit him. I think that's where he's playing his best football. But for me, just maybe shading it, I'm going to give the man of the match to Bukayo Saka. I just think on the right-hand side, he offers so much more than Nicolas Pepe does. Of course, he played in that position for England in the Euros, and that was when he really became a national hero, didn't he, in that competition. And you can see why he can go past players on the outside, as I said. He can get crossing with his right foot. He actually had an assist and a goal, both with his right foot in this game. And this is for a naturally left-footed player. It just shows how versatile he is. It shows what a great all-round player he is. Tottenham couldn't deal with him. Reguilon will still be having nightmares about Bukayo Saka's performance yesterday. He just ran him ragged, didn't he, for the whole of the game. Absolutely brilliant performance from him. So I'm going to have to give the man of the match. It could have gone to anyone, but I'm going to give the man of the match yesterday to Bukayo Saka. Well, I mean, that was a fantastic day, wasn't it? Fantastic performance, a great atmosphere in the stadium as well. This season, the fans are really getting behind the team, which is good. We're not getting the moaning and the groaning when a player miscontrols a ball or misses a chance. It's great to see. It's great to hear. And let's hope that continues, because I think it's really important that the fans can stay behind the team. And who knows, maybe together we can enjoy a much more successful season than we perhaps thought possible after 3 games. Of course, the turnaround between us and Tottenham has been quick, hasn't it, really? You know, they were top of the league after 3 games. We were bottom, and now 3 games later, we've just gone ahead of them in the league. Yes, we're still only 10th place. Let's not get carried away. But the progress is there for all to see. The performances are gradually getting better. That's 4 wins in a row in all competitions, 5 wins in our last 6 games. And we've only conceded 1 goal in all those wins as well. And that was, of course, that goal from Son yesterday. So things are certainly moving in the right direction. Yes, we're going to have some tougher tests to come. There's no doubt about that. Starting, of course, next weekend with the game away at Brighton, who are flying at the moment, aren't they? So, in fact, they could be top of the league if they win their game tonight. So that's going to be a big test for us next week. But we're certainly moving in the right direction. Things have finally turned around. And maybe we're all a little bit harsh to criticise Mikel Arteta. He came in at a difficult time, a lot of problems, and of course with the COVID situation, the lockdown. I think it's only about the 12th home game Mikel Arteta has had with a full stadium, and I think we've only lost 3 of those games. So it just goes to show how important it is with the crowd in. Maybe now we can really see the real Arsenal, the real Mikel Arteta. And if this first half performance has anything to go by, it could be an exciting time ahead, couldn't it? Stay tuned to the channel, because there is loads and loads of great stuff coming up. Of course, tomorrow is the Tuesday clinic with the guys. We're going to be looking back on this game. Loads of other things to discuss as well. We will talk about the Arsenal women who are currently top of the WSL. Loads of other stuff as well. Obviously, Mikel Arteta. Interesting to see Daniel Ek in the crowd as well, wasn't it, with Thierry Henry? Is there going to be more news on a possible takeover coming up as well? So loads and loads going on in the world of Arsenal as always. So we'll be going live at 7:30 tomorrow for the Arsenal clinic. So please stay tuned for that. On Wednesday, we've got an Arsenal women's special. We're doing a live watch along of the FA Cup quarter-final match against Tottenham. Another North London derby coming quickly on the heels of this one. So that's Arsenal women against Tottenham women. That's going live about 7 o'clock on Wednesday evening. So please tune in for that as well. Of course, Friday we'll have the Arsenal women's show as well, looking ahead to the weekend game against Aston Villa. And that's going to go live on Friday at 7:30 as well. And then on Saturday, we've got a double watch along. We've got the Arsenal men's team away at Brighton and also the Arsenal women away at Aston Villa. Both of those games are kicking off at a similar time on Saturday evening. So we'll be doing a watch along of both of those two games simultaneously. So loads and loads coming up. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks for your support of the channel. I say we have hit 600 subscribers in the last week, which has been fantastic. Thank you all very much for your support. And I say, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Please give this video a like as well if you've enjoyed it. And please share the content around and drop your comments in the box what you made of the performance. Who would have been your man in the match yesterday? Nice to have a lot of choices, isn't it? I say pretty much any of those starting 11 could have been given it and no one could have any complaints. I say I gave it to Saka. Let me know what you think. I say stay tuned, loads coming up. Join me tomorrow for the Tuesday Club with the guys. That's going to be a great show as well. In the meantime, of course, as always, come on you Gunners. North London is red. But we knew that anyway. Wow.